Hello, I'm Patrick. We're going to put in a sustainer kit built by Fernandes Guitar Company. The technology came out, I believe, in the 1980s. We're going to put it into a Gibson Victory guitar. This guitar belongs to a very good friend of mine, Chad Ely. He runs a multimedia consultant business. Check him out, chadely.com. Great guy. Not to least to say that he's one of the better guitar players I know too, but at any rate, he's been wanting the sustainer system in his guitar probably since they came out in the 80s, and today we're going to do it for him. We got the guitar, we have the parts, and we got the tools, we got the know-how, so we're going to get going. So what I've done so far is I took the original pick guard, I took everything off, all the electronics out of it, and the sustainer system, it comes with this preamp board. It comes with this circuit board. It comes with two switches. It's got a volume and a tone, and this other one is this other switch here. That would be it's the volume pot for the sustainer itself. So what it is it's got two switches. One turns on the sustainer, the magnetic pickup. The other one flips the vibration frequencies up a whole octave above that and or a whole octave below. You can switch it two ways. You can switch it on, off. This is on, off. Okay. You know, you're probably wondering, geez, if that does all that, sustains forever, why doesn't everybody put it in their guitar? Well, there's two reasons. One, expense. They're not cheap. It's $300 to $400 to buy a Fernandes. Number two, probably the most difficult thing, is that it always needs modification done to the instrument. Usually having to route on out an extra section for this particular PC board here. So, and either you're going to do that on a guitar that has a back guard plate for the electronics back here, which you'll have to route a thing and build another plate, or in this case you'll have to just add a larger pick guard on here, which is what we're going to do, and we're going to modify so it looks better the way it's supposed to be done. I have the pickguard material on hand, so we'll just make another pickguard for it. The first thing I got to do is kind of set it up here where I think it's all going to be. You know, I have the volume tone control. This little volume tone control will go into this little spot right here, which will be the volume for the sustainer itself. So I put this here, kind of marked it out. I know where I'm going to go here. This first line here is the line that I have to route out, and here, and then this is going to be the new pick guard, the way it goes and mounts over top of it. So, and the switches will be located about right here. So, here we go. What I've done so far is I have this 1/4 inch lucite material that I make all my patterns out of. So, I've made a pattern that'll fit in here. I've doubled, you know, this is the area that I want routed out. I put double stick tape on, I'll tape it on here. I have my router all set up, you know, it'll be a guide bearing to go around on this. It'll be a perfect hole cut. So, here we go. After this is done, we'll just keep going on with it and showing you how we're going to do this. Okay, so we have did all the preliminary drawings, and we determined where we were going to route everything out at, and then I built the jig. I built the jig to go on the front face of the Gibson, and routed it all out. I determined the depth by measuring from where I felt that the pick guard was going to be flush with the bottom of this switch to measure the distance of this small transformer. Came to about 1 3/8, 35 millimeters or so, and so all that depth is taken care of now. That's all done. Another thing that we had to do is we had to router out a battery box for this, because this magnetic pickup is controlled by a 9-volt battery. Now I could put it anywhere on the guitar, but I kind of decided that I wanted it right about here, and the reason being is I was going to run a wire right underneath the humbucker pickup, right out to the corner here, where this hole is here. The wire would come out in the box. So I put it back here. I laid it all out, built another jig using the same material, for the battery box. You got to make sure that you make your jigs and your templates perfect to size, because if you don't, the battery box will move in and out. Sometimes you don't have a lot of space here. You only have about a 3/16 of an inch on either side here. So if you're too far, it's going to show, the hole will show. So I do that by running it on a guide bearing, and the guide bearing, it goes with whatever you cut, it'll follow, So it's pretty nice that way. The thing you have to do is you have to make sure that your distance, that is from the bit itself to the outside of the bearing, you need the bearing guide that you would have to have, whatever that measurement be. It can be any kind of size guide. It could be, in this case, it's a 1/16 of an inch. So I had to make my template a 1/16 inch wider on all sides so that it comes out the exact hole that I want, which it did, and we're done. The depth is right, everything's good. It looks very good in here, looks like it's supposed to. Comes out, I drilled a small hole here, an 1/8 inch bit came out, comes out right there, perfect, just the way I want it. So we're going to move on to the next step of the operation now that we've got it done. I want to go for the pick guard. But before I did all that, I wanted to get my pick guard size out and everything. So I added this piece of paper to knowing that this is to determine, to show you what the new pick guard's shape will be. So as I did that, I did put all the pieces back together in the old pick guard, placed it in here, and then realized that my PC board was up pretty tight and my switches are going to come out pretty tight here. A little too tight for me, and I want a little bit more space. I want the switches to go back, which means I'll have to route out a little bit more of a section, probably another 1/4 inch to about this line here. It gives me that, it slides my switches back down a little bit deeper. And as I'm still looking at this, I looked at this flat spot on the new pick guard and realized I think it would look better if I had a little bit more round shape to it, So I'm going to change this little piece of paper. I've transformed all of this over to, this is some black white pick guard material, and I'm going to cut it from the back side of it. And so here I drew it on there. I'm going to draw this out a little bit bigger. So this will be my new pick guard. And on the old pick guard, we had a humbucker, and a single coil in here. We're not going to have this single coil in the middle, and this now will turn into being just a single coil for the sustainer pickup. So it's going to look a little bit more like this, where you have your double nothing here, and this is your single coil up here. So my new pick guard material will be this, and of course this is turned over backwards. And I will cut all my holes. I will cut everything that I need to do, and just transpose all of this information, all the same stuff right onto this pick guard. When I get done with that cut and we take care of it, we'll show you it from there. Thanks.